175 Karadiers. Good morning, YouTube. Today is Saturday. We're going to London for the weekend. So it's Pesach, we just had first Seder, and we're going to our cousins for second Seder. 323 225. Three two three 229 to Alderley Edge. Here's our train. 390 135. And here we are on the Holmes-Chapel Viaduct, which was recently rebuilt. The next station is Crewe. So we're now arriving at Crewe. Obviously, I have to point out the Crewe Rail Heritage Centre with the Intercity APT over there. Duncan and I will be visiting the Crewe Heritage Railway Centre in the near future. And we're now leaving Crewe. There's 175. Non-stop to London Euston. So in the old carriage depot, there seems to be a steam locomotive. Wait, yeah. Oh. Nice. And obviously there's all the old carriages there, as they usually are. But we may not be calling at Stafford Station. As we arrive at Stafford, we will see a brand new overpass, which was recently completed in order to carry trains running from Stoke-on-Trent to Birmingham over the West Coast Main Line. And here is the remodelled junction, and I believe we're about to pass under the flyover. And there's the new flyover. So that kind of untangles the web of tracks around here. Eliminates a former bottleneck. I couldn't find a good picture on the internet, so I just drew it instead. Here you can see the layout of the Norton Bridge junction before and after the flyover was built. Just south of the diagram is the former Norton Bridge station, which is now disused, and we actually see the abandoned platforms in the video. And this is Stafford. We're now passing a station, not sure which one it is. It is Rugby, there we go. Now passing Rugby. And here we are in London Euston, a truly beautiful station. It's gorgeous, I love it. Hello and welcome back. As is General David Frankel's old productions company policy, whenever we arrive into London Euston Station, I have to make some snarky comment about the building that they built in the 60s, knocking down the beautiful previous station, which, just for reference, used to look like this. Yeah, 60s architects, that was just hideous. This is much better, isn't it? Good job. Good news, London Euston is set to be completely knocked down and destroyed as part of HS2, so at least HS2 will bring us one good thing. So we're now walking down Euston Road towards Euston Square Station. We are meeting up our cousins in Kilburn. So we are taking the Metropolitan Line / Circle / Hammersmith City Line to Baker Street, and then from Baker Street it's the Jubilee Line up to Stanmore, but obviously we're only going as far as Kilburn. And here we are at Euston Square waiting for the next train. Meanwhile, a Metropolitan Line train to Aldgate is arriving on the other platform. Once again, we seem to be experiencing the Manchester side effect, in which there are always more trains on the side that you are not on. Metropolitan Line train to Chesham. And here we are at Great Portland Street. The next station is Baker Street, where we change. You can see it really is quite old. Just realised, wait, this is a Metropolitan Line train. We better to change at Finchley Road because we literally have to swap platforms. Meanwhile, here is Baker Street, where we surface. This is also where we split. So we're back underground now. We're changing at Finchley Road instead. Between Baker Street and Finchley Road, there are actually two abandoned Metropolitan Line stations. I don't think there's any trace that you can see. We're back overground now. Here we are at Finchley Road, where our Jubilee Line. Are we going to make that? Ah, no, it's gone. The thing about Finchley Road is, unlike most stations on the tube, like changing from the Metropolitan to the Jubilee is really easy because you literally walk over to the train that you've just missed. But luckily, there's another one in about 2 minutes. So between Finchley Road and Wembley Park, you get this strange gradient of services, where you've got the Chiltern trains that run right through, Metropolitan trains that stop at a few stations, and Jubilee that are like the local stopping service of the local stopping service. Just realised, actually, the platforms for the Jubilee Line are shorter than most National Rail. It's not quite the same level. And here comes our Jubilee Line train. So here we are at West Hampstead, where you can change for Thameslink and Overground. The next stop is Kilburn. And there's the North London Line, which we just passed over. North London Line is operated by Overground. And here we are at Kilburn, where our train-themed adventures terminate. Isn't that funny? And the next one is already here, literally about 30 seconds later. Unbelievable. There's another Chiltern. Good morning, day 2. Today is Sunday the 24th. And we are taking the train to Mottingham station to go and see Eltham Palace. It's going to be an interesting and complicated journey. We're going from Cricklewood to West Hampstead, then Jubilee Line to Waterloo, Waterloo to Mottingham. Here we are at Cricklewood, waiting for our train to West Hampstead. Meanwhile, a non-stop. Oh, the 387. There's the 387. See, I told you there were 387s. We couldn't find one of these last time, but here is one now. These are some of the newest trains on the network, but they won't be here for much longer because they're going to be replaced again with 700s in the near future. That one's going to Bedford, but it's calling at all stations. There's a non-stopping 319, which is weird, because last time the 319 seemed to be the ones that stopped everywhere, and the 377s didn't stop. This time the 387s stop and the 319s don't. Thameslink is so confusing. Apparently it's Thameslink, not Thameslink. I've been pronouncing it wrong this entire time. So trains are only running to St Pancras. There's no through trains from St Pancras to Blackfriars. Doesn't matter though, because we're only going as far as West Hampstead. Our train's arriving. Thankfully it's not a 319, but it also doesn't seem to be a 387. Looks like a 377. Still in its old First Capital Connect livery, yet to be repainted. So we're now on the Thameslink train, just left Cricklewood, and the next station is West Hampstead, where we will be swapping to the Jubilee Line. And here we are at West Hampstead Thameslink. West Hampstead is a sort of interchange between the North London line, the Thameslink on the Midland main line, and the Jubilee line on the Chiltern and Metropolitan main line. There's a short walk between the stations, but a short walk we can manage. This is West Hampstead Thameslink, where Thameslink trains stop, East Midlands trains do not. There goes the train. You can also see an overground train passing on the line overhead. 377, two of them in fact, not sure at the front. 377 506 at the back. To the Jubilee Line. Here we are outside the West Hampstead Thameslink. It's got a nice new building. Well, mediocre new building. Our next stop is the Jubilee Line. So there's Thameslink. Here is the overground, and there is the underground. And here is the Jubilee Line. And here we are back at Finchley Road. We're now leaving Bond Street, which will soon be an interchange for the Elizabeth Line at our Crossrail. And here we are at Waterloo, where it is very crowded. Waterloo is on the new half of the Jubilee Line, so you've got the platform edge doors, which is quite cool. So we're going to Waterloo East for National Rail services. We're catching a Southeastern train to Mottingham, not Nottingham, Mottingham. So here we are in Waterloo. I must say the architecture's not that pleasant. So you know it's the number one rule to stand on the right. Well, at Holborn, oh Dad, what are you doing?
Trying to keep out of your shot.
Naughty Dad. Never stand on the left, unless you're at Holborn, where they're just testing out to stand on both sides. Here we are at Waterloo. We're following the signs for Waterloo East. So here we are at Waterloo, where it's quite quiet for Waterloo. Waterloo is actually the busiest station in the country, though it doesn't really look it much now. This is where South West trains go, and a massive improvement programme is underway. But we're looking for Waterloo East, which is a separate national rail station, but it's an interchange, and it's where South East trains from Charing Cross run, and I think it's this way. Eurostar trains used to come to Waterloo, and the former Eurostar platforms are being converted to South West Trains platforms in the near future. So here we are at Waterloo East. We just missed the 10:25, so the next one is at 10:55. So we've got half an hour to just kind of chill here, maybe get something to eat. So after a quick breakfast, we're now swapping over to Waterloo East. So there's this little link bridge connecting the South West Trains terminus to the Southeastern through station on the line to Charing Cross. So here we are in Waterloo East. Now, unlike the North London, where the main lines are in like a spiderweb pattern, South London, with its train operators, is really complicated and all over the place. So So we're somehow going to navigate through this network on a train to Gravesend, calling it Lewisham, Hither Green, Lee, Mottingham, which is where we're going, and a few other stations. We'll pass through London Bridge, but we won't call there.
With all these trains coming in and out.
I have a video of that.
And there goes the train to Charing Cross. And here comes our train to Gravesend. It's made of 10 coaches. 465029.
Is this ours?
It is indeed. What makes Waterloo East quite rare is that it's got lettered platforms. So it's A, B, C and D. We're on platform A. This is our train. So we're now leaving Waterloo East. This train kind of reminds me of a 323, except it's much nicer. So now cut through central London. And this is the new London Bridge station, which is currently under construction, due for completion in 2018. It's quite exciting. You can already see the new platforms slowly taking shape.
What's taking shape? What's this?
London Bridge.
London Bridge station.
Yeah.
Do not alight here.
Yeah, they're.
Get off.
Yeah, they don't. The trains don't stop here. We pass through because they're still rebuilding it. Alight is a fancy word for get off. So the trains would usually stop here, but we're passing through. And there's the terminus section, which is already completed and in use. Now left London Bridge and we're starting to pick up speed. Had it not been for London Bridge engineering works, we could have actually made it in one change. Thameslink to London Bridge, and then London Bridge to Mottingham. But neither service is called London Bridge at the moment, so we had to swap to the Jubilee Line. And here we are at Lewisham, where you can change for the DLR. And here we are at Hither Green. I believe the next station is ours. Not Heald Green, Hither Green. So the next station is Lee, and then after that it's Mottingham, where we get off. We're deep in South London suburbia now. Here we are at Lee, which unlike Hither Green still has its original canopy. It's quite nice. And there goes our train. Careful. It's a 465. Basically, it's a third rail 323. So here we are in beautiful Mottingham station. Not so much. Very long platforms, which are obviously needed since the trains are about 10 cars long. We're about 10 minutes away from Eltham Palace, which is why we're here, to go see Eltham Palace. On our way back, we will be going to Euston, and then we will take the train home from Euston to Wilmslow. And here we are at Eltham Palace, which Mum is very enthusiastic about. So after looking at the displays explaining the history of the place, we now know why it's all medieval on the outside but 30s on the inside, because during the 16 to 1900s it was abandoned and decaying, and then in the 20th century a new family moved in, the Courtaulds. They moved in and rebuilt the palace and rebuilt the inside, which is why you've got the medieval outside and the nice Art Deco 20s 30s inside. And there is the palace. We're just kind of trying to find our way through the maze of garden paths between the entrance and the actual hall. It looks gorgeous. So this is Eltham Palace. We are allowed to take photographs, but not close-ups of the specific artwork on the walls, as some of them are copyrighted. Now walking up and down the house, the Courtaulds, who restored the place and lived in it and gave it its Art Deco interior in the 1930s, had a pet lemur, and this was his cage. It's either a cuddly replica of the lemur, and if it walked down the bamboo ladder, it could explore the whole house, and it was often roaming around the house. They had a pet lemur. It's very extravagant. You can also see the top of the Swedish inspired this is Virginia Courtaulds' bedroom. Fancy. And at the end of the corridor is a balcony of the original main hall. And here is the main hall. Now, during the 18th and 19th centuries, after the Civil War, before the Courtaulds arrived, and the whole palace was in ruins and decaying, the Great Hall was actually used as a barn, interestingly enough. This seems to be a kitchen or utility room of some sort, and we found where the bamboo ladder up to the lemur's cage came from. So I think that was the lemur's cage up there, and then the lemur would come down this bamboo ladder. Here's another little stuffed toy thing. They'd come down and then roam around the whole house. So this down here is the basement. A bit dingy. So this here is the map room, which they're still currently discovering. So they're peeling off layers of wallpaper to reveal giant maps on the walls. It is a ongoing process. Unfortunately, they're not quite finished yet, but you can see they've made a lot of progress. So we're out of the hall now. We're going to have a little walk around the gardens and maybe have some food at the cafe. Meanwhile, we spot a wild Noam in his natural habitat. Hello and welcome back. We were just inside Eltham Palace. We're now going to grab some lunch, and then we were like way ahead of schedule, so we've got loads of hours to kill. Got to find something to do until our train, which is at 6:30 from Euston. Hello and welcome back. We're out of the palace now. We're back at Mottingham station, and we have a couple of hours to spare. So we've decided that, although I've been on it, none of the rest of my family have ever been on the cable car. So we're going to go to the cable car, and we're also going to go on the DLR. Our train is in 4 minutes. We have to run a bit to get here. 466010 to Charing Cross. via Waterloo East. So we have, even if we go on the cable car, we still have lots of time to kill. So we have a decision. We could get to North Greenwich, do the cable car twice, and then take the tube back from North Greenwich, which takes half an hour, or go to Royal Victoria on the other side and take the DLR back, which takes about 45 minutes. It's a bit longer, plus we get to go on the DLR, and we've got time to kill, so the longer the better. We have not quite decided yet. In the meantime, we're just going to Waterloo East, and then the Jubilee Line to North Greenwich. And here we are again at Lee. And here we are at Hither Green. And there's another train to Gravesend. We are now arriving at Lewisham, where you can change for the DLR. We are going to be on the DLR later, we might. We'll have to see. And here we are again at London Bridge.
Still isn't finished.
It's falling down.
Constantly falling down.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Is it really 3 minutes?
Yeah, we're almost there.
You've got the cable.
Yeah, to get on the Jubilee Line takes some Greenwich cable car. It stops.
No, not that much.
If we're not doing that for this one.
Here we are at Waterloo East. There is a train in the new Southeastern livery. We are there now. That one's going to Hastings. 375 and then one in the old livery at the back.
Are we there yet?
Yes. So Waterloo East is also a half interchange with Southwark, as it turns out. And Southwark is one stop closer to, so we may as well go to Southwark. There is the Shard. So here we are in Southwark, which is somehow closer to Waterloo East than Waterloo. And there's 2 ticket barriers because you have to go out of Waterloo and into Southwark. I don't get this at all. Makes no sense. Whoa, this is fancy. Much nicer than Waterloo. This is very modern somehow. Very strange. Bit weird. I like it. And here comes our train. I don't like platform edge doors. It kind of ruins the fun. And here we are at London Bridge. We're now going to North Bridge. And here we are at Canada Water, which interchanges with the East London Line, part of London Overground. And here we are at Canary Wharf. And here we are at North Greenwich, where we change for the cable car. We have 2 hours and 45 minutes until our train leaves from Euston, in which time we need to go over either once or twice and make our way to Euston. We've got plenty of time, probably. This won't end badly, I hope. And here we are in North Greenwich. So here we are in North Greenwich. There's the tube and bus station, and here is the cable car. It is a great view. If you've seen Greetings from London, London Music Trip video from last July, you'll remember when we went up there. And I'm afraid of heights. I did not like the high rope course on the Sheraton one bit. But I don't mind this because it's so high up that it doesn't even feel real. It just feels like you're looking down at a bunch of models. It's so high up that you're no longer afraid. Anyway, we went up the Shard as well, so that wasn't too bad. So here we are at Emirates Greenwich Peninsula, aka North Greenwich, the south end of the Emirates airline. And here we are in the cable car. Quite
Grand entrance hall to the
We're quite high up.
Spectacular.
It is spectacular, yeah. It's a great view.
This I didn't realise.
Oh, that's the wrong
And there is London City Airport.
I've been there.
There's the Thames Barrier. And there's the DLR. And that over there is Canary Wharf Crossrail. Again. So we're now getting off at Royal Victoria soon. There's a cruise liner over there. And London City Airport is a terrible waste of space. It should be closed. And a video in the description will explain why. So this is the Crystal, which is owned by Siemens. It is an exhibition centre. And here we are at Royal Victoria. Hello and welcome back. Here we are at Royal Victoria. So our route home can take about 45 minutes via the DLR to Tower Gateway and the Circle Line to Euston Square, which means we get to pass the abandoned King's Cross St Pancras tube station. Ooh, isn't that exciting? We might actually go and have a look at the Crystal because, like I said, we've got too much time, so why not? Hello and welcome back. We just spent half an hour in the Crystal and it was actually really interesting, but I think we did not spend long enough in there. We had to operate a city by controlling its finances and transport and things, and we learned that we are terrible at running cities. But perhaps we shall return here another day. Right now we need to navigate this already existing city. We are at Royal Victoria DLR and we need to make our way to Euston. So here we are at Royal Victoria DLR station. There is a train to Beckton. It's one of the older trains. I can't remember the name, I'll put it in a little subtitle. But we'll see if we get a new one. We might not, so we'll have to wait and see. Here's a train to Canning Town, but it doesn't help us. Here's a train to Tower Gateway. Sadly, it's an old one. Oh well. Hello, welcome back. We're now on the DLR train out of Royal Victoria. We are going to Tower Gateway and we're going to be changing to the Circle Line. I've never been on the DLR before. This is quite exciting. Unfortunately, somebody's sitting in the seat at the front. We'll see if they decide to move soon.
This train is for Tower Gateway. The next stop is Canning Town. Change for London Underground, Jubilee Line and bus services.
And here we are at Canning Town. We managed to get the good seat. Also, my camera ran out, so we're now on my phone.
It's like on a roller coaster.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. This is actually a driver's seat. So if there's an issue with the self-driving, then there'll be a guy who sits here and drives it manually. But for the most of the time, it's automatic.
It feels like a really slow, boring roller coaster.
You're so pessimistic. Oh wow, we're already in East India. This is fast, isn't it? We were in the middle of London a second ago, now we're in East India. Gosh. Overpass for some reason. I don't really know why. Oh, it's because it's a depot. Train passing overhead, and there is Canary Wharf Crossrail. It's right there. There's the building I keep pointing at. We literally go right past it.
Tower Gateway.
That's why we keep on doing like that.
Yeah, we shake a bit. Oh, that's awesome. And this is Poplar. If I remember correctly, the junction right ahead of us, out of Poplar, is really awkward and complicated.
Mum, Dad, come join.
So there's Canary Wharf Crossrail, and now we leave Poplar and try and navigate the grossly complicated junction that comes out of Poplar. There's a video on City Transport info all about it. It's just really complicated. Almost unnecessarily so. Here we are at Limehouse, which also has connections to National Rail services.
Oh, is that train going to go into us?
No. Here we are at Shadwell. We can change for overground services. So I think there's a point where the line splits actually, because bank service, we're still with the bank services, and I think the bank services curve off to the left here, and then we carry on straight ahead. Now there have been proposals to extend the DLR all the way to Euston, which would have been useful to us, but we want to take the Circle line anyway, because we love the Circle line. So that's the C2C line, and that's the line down to Bank, which pops underground for a little bit. Church Street overhead. So it's a two-platform thing. This is what Victoria Station might be like in the future. But I don't think the doors open on both sides. I don't know. Yes, they do. They open on both sides. Isn't that cool? So Tower Gateway is new change for Tower Hill Underground, and also Fenchurch Street Railway Station, which is just behind the glass screen there. We are taking the Circle line to Euston Square. Not soap, idiot. So here we are at Tower Gateway. There is London Tower. And Tower Hill is somewhere. Not entirely sure where.
We are in the middle, guys. We are pretty much in the middle of it.
Oh, it's the London Marathon, isn't it? Hello and welcome back. Here we are at Tower Hill. We're waiting for a train, Circle Line train. It's quite busy because of the London Marathon. Luckily, most of the crowd is heading in the opposite direction to us.
Train on platform 3 is the District Line train pulling all stations to Barking. Train now on platform 3 will be pulling all stations to Barking, which is the District Line train pulling all stations to Barking. Please allow passengers off the train before boarding.
What? These are still running? I thought they got rid of these. Good gracious. D78 district stock. there's another one. This one is terminating here. So we're now at the Aldgate three-way junction, and this is Aldgate Station. District lines pass there, but do not stop here. And this is the closest Metropolitan and District Line trains will ever get to each other. Quote Jeff Marshall from Londonist. The tube is very crowded. So now we join onto the Metropolitan and Hammersmith and City lines. Go through Liverpool Street, Moorgate, Barbican, Farringdon and King's Cross St Pancras. And between Farringdon and King's Cross St Pancras is an abandoned tube station. Yes, an abandoned tube station. The original King's Cross St Pancras tube station, which is located east of the current day one, was destroyed, badly damaged by World War II bombs, and they built a new one just west of it. But the Thameslink continued to use the King's Cross St Pancras station as King's Cross Thameslink until 2007, when it was relocated to St Pancras Thameslink. So there's two abandoned stations there. Metropolitan Line, which has been abandoned since World War II, and a Thameslink, which has only been abandoned since 2007. But first, Liverpool Street. And this is Liverpool Street.
Oh, there's another enthusiast.
And we now leave Liverpool Street. A lot of people got off here, so the train is much airier and lighter now, which is nice. The next station is Moorgate. Moorgate and Liverpool Street will be connected by the new Crossrail station, which will interchange with both. See, there's a bit of light up there. Sometimes there's a break in the underground, and we briefly go overground. And then we go back under again, because this was built quite shallow, cutting cover level. And here we are at Moorgate, where there's the terminus for the Great Northern lines, and there's also two terminus platforms, which the Thameslink trains used to use. The City Widened Lines are a section of the Metropolitan Line between King's Cross St Pancras and Moorgate, with 4 tracks instead of 2. Here on this excellent MS Paint diagram, you can see where the Thameslink runs from the Midland Main Line onto the City Widened Lines and all the way to Farringdon. It then curves down through the Snow Hill Tunnel. The line once went all the way to Moorgate via Barbican, where trains terminated in those bay platforms you just saw. As part of the Thameslink programme, the platforms at Farringdon were widened. The new platform covers over the old line, so trains can no longer run through. The platforms at Barbican and Moorgate are now abandoned. Also seen here are the curves out of the East Coast Main Line, where Great Northern services would also run onto the City Widened Lines. The curve on the left was for northbound trains, which had a platform at King's Cross Main Line station. Southbound trains had their own station, called King's Cross York Road, immediately north, and these trains joined onto the City Widened Line at the same place as the Thameslink from St Pancras. The original King's Cross Underground station was located just east of this junction until World War II, when it was damaged by bombs, and a new Metropolitan Line station was built further west. When Thameslink services restarted, they continued to use the old station at King's Cross until 2007, when the bigger, more spacious St Pancras Thameslink was opened, leaving 2 abandoned stations. The Metropolitan station, which closed in the 1940s, and the Thameslink station, which closed in 2007. The Thameslink and Metropolitan Line stations were linked by a passage, and the entrance to the old Thameslink station is still open today as an entrance to the new station. The next stop is Barbican, which will be connected to the next stop after that, Farringdon, by Crossrail, which will interchange with both stations. And here we are at Barbican, which is above ground. So here we are at Barbican, where there is a junction leading off to the Snow Hill Tunnel carrying Thameslink trains. So there are 2 other lines behind that wall, which were the former City Widened Lines. And there they are. So those are now So those are now abandoned, former abandoned railway lines, and there are the Thameslink trains with the new extended platforms, which is why they are abandoned. And there are the Thameslink platforms, which for some reason have underground roundels on them, even though it's not the underground, it's Thameslink. So we're now leaving Farringdon Farringdon.
not that one, that one.
We are
Came to
about...
Farringdon.
Cool. We're about to pass the abandoned station.
Concentrate.
Right. So there's one platform here. The other platform was consumed by King's Cross Thameslink, which is also abandoned. Let's have a look out. Wait, that's the Thameslink. The Thameslink has swapped sides. I'm on the line. We're on the wrong side.
On the wrong side. We need to swap sides.
At some point, the Thameslink swapped sides. I have a feeling that's King's Cross Thameslink behind us, and there it is. There it is. There it is. Yep. This is it. We're still on it. We're still on it. There it is.
That was it.
That was it. The other platform was consumed by the Thameslink station. We're now approaching the new King's Cross St Pancras. And here is King's Cross St Pancras' new station. Which is why King's Cross St Pancras is the only station in the area with a blue disabled badge on the map, because it's much newer. So this is Euston Square. We're going to get off here, and it's a quick walk from here to Euston itself. Our train back to Manchester is in half an hour. Here we are at the mezzanine level, the brand new mezzanine level of the lovely London Euston. As you can see, the crowds down there are large. Hello and welcome back. We're now boarding our train. I hate everything about Euston and its system, especially on Sunday night when you're going home and it's crowded and your train is announced 5 minutes before it leaves and everybody rushes and it's like the apocalypse. I hate it. I just hate it. We're in coach E. It's got the new doors compared to the stripy ones. It's light dark grey, it's nicer. It is the City of London, which we are now leaving. Thankfully, we are now leaving London Euston. Terrifying, especially on a Sunday night, especially if there's a match / a marathon or both on. It becomes hell on earth. According to the announcer, we will be arriving in Crewe at 2016. I would be more concerned if we didn't arrive to Crewe in 2016. Don't want to spend too long on this train. Hello and welcome back. We are currently high up on the line with a great view of Watford. For some reason we seem to have stopped. Also, by the way, the Crystal place we went to gave us a free book called Our Urban Future. Because why not? It's quite nice of them. And here we are at Watford Junction. What? Watford Junction. And here we are, once again, in Stafford. The next station is Crewe. There is a cross-country train which is stopping here, 220021. We are not stopping here. Well, I seem to have missed it. That's annoying. Anyway, the next station is... I think I know what happened. I think we went up the down slow chord instead of the down fast line for some reason, and that's why I missed it, because we were to the left. And we are slowly making our approach to Crewe, I believe.
This train later on now is arriving into platform 6, so platform 9 is towards the front of this train. Just keep walking down the same platform you get off. Platform 9 is towards the front of this train. That service to Chester departs at 8:20, just on the other side of the platform that we are arriving on. So towards the front of the train for customers for Chester, that's on platform 9, Liverpool on platform 11.
And we are now leaving Crewe. There is the Crewe Rail Heritage Centre with its intercity APT and various other locomotives and a bus. The next stop is Wilmslow, where we will be. And the train now leaves Wilmslow. It's the end of the video. If you enjoyed, do subscribe. I have a weekly show. I make lots of these videos. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. You made me an entire 0.01 pence. Thank you so much. Morning YouTube. Today is Friday the 12th February 2016. It's almost half term, but I'm taking a day off school, yay, because we're going to my cousin's bar mitzvah in London. Here we are in Wilmslow station, getting the train down to Euston, and then we're going to get a Thameslink train to Cricklewood, where we are staying. I've never actually been on the Thameslink before, so this should be pretty exciting. Hey man, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just doing some research on my project about how humanity is a failed species. What are you talking about? Humanity's not a failed species. Oh Lord. I can't believe this. This absolute racist cretin might actually become president of the United States. I'm out. I'm done.